Today we're going to test this beauty right here, this sword called Gladius. It's a sword full of history. It was the main weapon used in ancient Rome by the gladiators. But what is a gladius? Gladius, basically, it's a short sword. As you can see, this one is not a long sword, it's a short sword. With a very thick and straight blade and with two edges. In other words, it's sharp on both sides as well as at the tip. It was developed to be a very fast and agile sword, specifically to make hand-to-hand combat easier. At the time when this sword was used, the Romans' opponents were the barbarians who wore rather weak armor that wasn't very resistant. And that really justified the sword being this short, because over time, as armor developed and became tougher and stronger, swords also had to improve and become longer in order to stab and pierce even the most resistant armor, as time went on and all that. And then cavalry came in, and that's when cavalry started using longer swords, and then this little sword. The gladius here was set aside and became history, and that's the piece of history we're going to test in this video. So let's start our tests. I've prepared several objects, several really interesting targets, so we can test the strength of this object here. And to start off, nothing better than a little water bottle. 3, 2, 1, let's go! 1, 3, 2, 2. I didn't even really understand what happened. But look here, it's also a much more resistant bottle than regular PET. It has a much thicker plastic wall here. It hit here like this and broke some pieces, shattered others. We're off to a good start with these tests here, and I almost forgot, this sword here was made by my friend, Professor Felipe Diniz. His channel is also here in the description. He also has a really cool channel about adventure mixed with comedy. He does a lot of interesting things there. It's worth checking out. So he decided to create this sword here and send it to us to test. He did some other tests besides the ones we're doing in today's video, so it's worth checking out. And as soon as this video ends, Part 2 will be on his channel. I'll leave the link here in the description. The next target now is our test dummy, which is right here. Look, this is Alfred, and he's so cold that we put about 50 layers of t-shirts on him. Because one of the main functions of this weapon here, besides cutting on both sides, was also thrusting. It has a very firm tip, and it was often used for thrusting. And then as soon as the tip went in, the edges, you know, the two sharp sides, would already do a huge amount of damage. So we're going to try to reproduce this here on this mannequin. Let's see what happens. Are you scared? 1, 2, 3, what happened here? It hit more or less here, pierced quite a bit, but this part ended up cushioning it. Let's try to hit the head and collarbone here on our buddy. 2, 2, 3. Oh, I missed here. I ended up hitting only the plastic. Let's try one more. Hold on. Hang in there, buddy. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at what happened. We sliced through all the shirts, all the layers. It even got to the plastic part here. And look, we had a good thickness of shirts here to protect the dummy. For God's sake, this thing is absolutely brutal. Just so you have an idea, this is really tough. Take a look at this, huh?
Look here. Does it look like paper?
Man, it looks like it, right? Because it's so sharp that this cloth here turned into paper and still focusing on thrust with the sword. The next test I prepared here, really cool, is right here. Look, 50 layers of cardboard. As you can see here, we have more than 10 centimeters of cardboard stacked on top of each other. And now we're going to try to pierce, to stab here. Will it go through? I'm curious. 1, 2, 3, and stab it. It's stuck. It's already turned into King Arthur's sword, stuck in... Well, it can't be King Arthur, right? That was the medieval age. We're in another era now, a more Roman era. Let me take this out so we can see. I'll try one more time because I want it to go through. I think this time it went further, huh? It still didn't go through either. I can't get it all the way to the end. Wait, now I think it worked. It went through. We reached our goal. Now, did King Arthur finally manage to pull the sword from the stone?
I don't think so, huh?
Named here, O King of Rome, the rat gnawed the clothes of the King of Rome. Now, I want to test the blade and the sharpness of the gladius here. I prepared a piece of wood. We're going to try to slice it, split it in half here, break it completely. Let's see if this is going to work. 1, 2, 3, and... The blow didn't split it all the way through in one go. Let's see if we can finish this here. And... To finish, look, it really cuts, huh? We needed a few strikes, of course, but everything went as expected. The important thing is that it managed to cut even this wood well. It's a very hard, very sturdy wood. And take a look at what the sword looks like. It's still intact, perfect, nothing happened to the blade. We can see that the edge didn't get any chips, which means its tempering is extremely well done. Everything is still well aligned here. So far, this sword here, look, gets a 10.
What I can notice is just what I'm filming. I'm not even looking, but it seems like it also has a really strong impact. It's not just that it cuts.
Exactly, it's heavy. Hold it here so you can see. Look, hey.
Man, this must weigh at least, I don't know, about 3 kilos. Yeah.
Maybe a little less than that. The sword is really heavy, which helps with the strike since you don't need to use much force. Its own weight already helps a lot in the strike to destroy more objects. Now we're going to thrust this sword into a car seat. Do you think we can pierce it? Behind the seat here we have a piece of wood, so if we manage to pierce it, we'll be able to see it go through and everything. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, and... No. Wow, check it out on the other side.
For sure.
And it's stuck in the tree. Went through this really easily. Come see up here. Nuno, and this little part, this little cushion here. Wow.
It breaks in the middle. Let's see.
Will it? Bro, we cut it. There's something in the middle.
I was curious about that too.
Right? Wow, look how cool. I was really curious to know what was inside here. There's a piece of plastic, there's some foam that's already really dried out from being in the sun for years, and there's a piece of plastic here on the inside that makes it stiffer, harder. If you're protected behind a car seat and a sword is coming your way, what we're going to do now is test its edge to see if it's really sharp. I prepared a double sisal rope here to make things harder, even more challenging, and we're going to try with a strike to slice it, and 1, 2, 3, and... I put so much force thinking there would be some resistance, and I didn't feel anything. The strike was extremely smooth. The sword sliced right through here. There was no resistance from the rope at all. I put in so much force that it was even unnecessary. I almost fell forward from using so much strength, but the important thing is that it cut in a spectacular way. In other words, this sword cuts. Now let's move on to a slightly more complicated challenge for our blade, which will be a water bottle, but this time frozen solid. We froze the water. Right? Exactly, we froze the water. And we're going to leave it inside the bottle and give it a good hit to see if it will break, if it will cut, what will happen. All good? 2, 3, and... Part 2, okay? 2, 3, and... Hey, hold on. Put it back here on the other side now. Go ahead, that's good. Now from top to bottom. Oh, it snowed here, right here in Brazil, a snowstorm. See, who said it doesn't snow in Brazil? And the cool thing is that this time we left the plastic with the ice, so it was much more resistant. The ice got compacted here. The inside part probably didn't freeze, right? All of this here. But we managed to break the bottle here. We crushed the ice into several pieces. Let's do a headshot here. 3, and... This ice bottle was one of the coolest and most satisfying objects I've ever destroyed. But now... to finish with a bang, I have quite a challenge for this Gladius here, which is nothing more, nothing less than a coconut. So, Professor Denise, this is the ultimate test for your blade, huh? Approved or not approved? Now's the time. Wow, man. I'll even save you a little bit of this water. The post-video refreshment is guaranteed. We basically sliced the whole coconut in half. There's a quarter of the coconut left, but I want to finish it. We tested against the grain. Now let's try with the grain to see what difference it makes. Technically, it should be easier, right? Let's see. 2, 3, and oh my! This time it just split the coconut in half, no difference at all. It was Dadio. The first strike, we went against the grain, it stopped here, almost at the end, but with the grain, my friend, there was nothing left of the coconut. Look, it passed. I don't even know if that's even the right word for this sword, because I think it went beyond that. Simply one of the craziest things I've ever tested here on the channel. Now let's go to the final thoughts regarding the targets we tested. All of them were completely destroyed. The sword, its edge is still very sharp. There are no signs of deformation. The sword didn't bend, so the sword won. I really enjoyed it, and I'd even like you to comment here on which target you thought was the coolest in this video in your opinion. Leave it here in the comments because I want to know. If you want new tests with this sword here too, just leave it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, it helps me a lot. We're in this together. Leave your like and see you in the next video. Thanks, see you, take care, and bye.